Okay, now we're going to go in here. We're going to get the tenderloins out. The tenderloins are and boy, these are going to be some tiny little tenderloins, I'll bet. But maybe it'll give you an idea of what they are. The tenderloins are the two pieces of meat inside along the spine, right back here towards the back. They run right up and down through there like that. Let's see, lift this down a little bit more. See if that helps now. Let's see if we can see in there a little bit better. Yeah, the tenderloins run right up and down through here on the inside, closest to the pelvis down, usually about halfway down the spine. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to trim some of this undesirable stuff out of the way. Some of the stuff that's not going to be too great. And that'll make it easier to see and easier to get to as well. And I'll set these guys over here where they can go to the dogs later. The dogs always like when I get a deer or a hog because they get lots of yummy stuff to eat. Yeah, there's some yuckiness there for sure. But the dogs don't care, turns out. One of the things you want to get rid of when you're doing a deer stuff, that at least I don't care for it too much, is this spot right here that's got all the blood mixed in with, and I can't think of there's a proper name for it, but the membranes and stuff that are right in here. That blood soaks into that fatty, almost had the word there, that fatty tissue that's right in there, and just kind of, I guess you could eat it. If we were all starving to death and it was end of the world kind of stuff, I imagine we'd be just fine, but we're not, and so I'm not going to keep it. So carve that off right there. Give you kind of an idea of what that piece looked like. It wasn't too pretty mucho special. So put that dude there. Now, yeah, there's some more yuckiness here, but that's going to be okay because we're not going to worry about that. On a bigger animal, just while I'm thinking to mention it, on a bigger animal, I would even be willing to go in between the ribs here and carve out the meat that's in this rib section right there. Carve right down along the ribs, just like that, and then get to the other side of it, and just like that, and who knows, maybe I will anyway, because there's not a lot here. But you get that little strip of meat that runs between the ribs, and it's not a lot, but when you're grinding, it adds up, So, who knows, I say I won't, maybe I will. We shall see. Right now it'll go there. But right now our purpose is the tenderloins. Now you can see there's a lot of fatty tissue right up in there that we're going to not want, so I'll carve around that. But these muscles are a long, straight, kind of skinny muscle, and so I'm going to use this little caping knife again to go in and get those. And I don't have to do a whole lot. A lot of times you don't even have to use a knife. They'll just break loose and you can peel them out. In fact, it's like this right there. I'm just getting my finger in there. Oh boy, these are tiny, tiny, tiny. Goodness gracious. I'm sorry I don't have a big old 200-pound deer to be cleaning out for you. I just got this little guy here. There we go. Look at that, not even needing a knife. Get right up in there and peel it loose. Now I am right up here at the top. It's a little bit more engaged and stuck. Last little bit right there. I'm trying to get every bit that I can on this one. There we go. Alright, got that dude right there. Now it's got that little piece of fat stuck to it. Let me back the camera up a little bit at this point. Be easier to see what's going on. There we go. Got the fat stuck to it, so I'm going to peel that off of it. Not even going to have to really carve it. There we go, and get that dried part. And what you've got is a little chunk of meat. In this case, a little chunk of meat about that big, and that is the tenderloin. And it is, I mean, it melt in your mouth tender. Now, because it's been hanging for a few days, it's got this little dried bit on the outside right here. I'll carve that off later, and then that'll be good to go too. So let me set this. I should have brought extra. One of the things I'm doing is I've got, basically I'll probably catch grief over this, but it's just a trash bag. It's not the scented trash bag. We got those last time, but you can use just any kind of plastic bag. And what will happen is it'll go into the freezer for now, because we're not going to have time to deal with it today. But it'll sit in the freezer nicely for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and it'll be just fine. We'll pull it out and grind it all together. Process the tenderloins in the back strap. So I am going to stop here, find me a different bag, and I'll come back and I'll go ahead and get the other tenderloin off camera, and then we'll come back and get a back strap. So back in a minute.